some twists this morning. It's a cold, wet morning here in Durban, and I thought that a few twists might help to warm up the core, activate into our solar plexus chakra, which is a place of warmth and of fire. For those of us, myself included, who are feeling that this lockdown is starting to get a little bit long in the tooth now, and I'm looking towards the end very, very much. I feel like I need a little bit of fire in my soul today to get me through the rest of the week and next week towards the end of lockdown. So we're going to start today coming to sit on your shins. If this is not comfortable to sit on the shins, you're very welcome to sit on a block or on a pillow instead, or you can even sit with your legs out in front of you. That's absolutely no problem. We're going to bring the forefinger and thumb to touch and spread the other three fingers long, lifting your spine up tall, taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, and then exhale to sigh the breath out as you softly close the eyes. Taking a moment to connect into the space that you find yourself. Noticing the physical, the mental, the emotional. Noticing your general state of being. You may feel really strong this morning. You may feel a little bit tender. What our mindfulness practice teaches us is to acknowledge the space that we're in without judgment. And just to be kind and gentle with the space that we find ourselves. Every day is a flux, every emotion is a flux. And how you're feeling now is not how you'll feel in an hour or a day or a week from now. And sometimes we need the freedom to just be in the space that we're in. Whether that be a space of happiness, without feeling guilty about our happiness, whether it's to be in a space of discomfort and without holding on to that discomfort. I'm going to start this morning with 3 rounds of Kapalabhati breath. This is taking an inhale through the nose and then forceful exhales by feeling as though you're punching the air out with the tummy muscles. The inhale happens passively, and then the exhale happens actively. Try not to overthink the exhale, it will happen naturally. Let's start by taking a deep breath in, a deep breath out, half breath in, and begin. Exhale, chin to chest. Feel light and spacious as you hold the breath out. And then inhale to slowly lift the face. Let's take a second round. Big breath in. Big breath out. Half breath in. And begin. Exhale all the air out. Soften the shoulders, soften the face and the neck. Slowly inhale. Last round. Big breath in. Big breath out. Half breath in. And begin. Exhale the air out, chin to chest. And this time lift into Mula Bandha, lift into Uddiyana Bandha, the pelvic floor, the lower belly. Creating a lock into Jalandhara Bandha around the throat. And then releasing all of it as you inhale, bringing the face back up to center. Going to slide now over onto the hands and knees. Gently releasing the legs. Create a bit of a tourniquet effect into the knees and the ankles. Just get the blood flowing back into the legs. You can straighten the right foot behind you. Just come into very gentle pulsing into that back heel. Making sure that you've got enough space between the hands and the knees to feel comfortable and expansive. Float the right leg up now, and we're going to roll into the ankle. Change the direction of the roll, other way around. And then exhaling, knee to face, face to knee, rounding into the back. Inhale to extend the leg behind you. Exhale, knee to upper right arm, working into those right oblique muscles. Inhale, the leg behind you. Let's cross it now to the left upper arm, squeezing in the oblique muscles. And then inhaling the leg behind. And exhale, release the knee down. Taking your left leg back, flex into that foot. And small little pulses forward and back. So not only are we stretching into the back of the leg, getting the blood flowing down the calf muscle, we're also working into the wrists very gently, shifting the weight into the tips of the fingers. So dig the fingertips into the mat, and that will help alleviate tension in the wrist. Coming back to the center and floating that left leg up. Roll the ankle in one direction, and then roll in the other direction. Let's exhale, knee to face, face to knee, rounding your back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to upper left arm. Squeeze in the oblique muscles. Inhale, extend. Taking it to the other side, upper right arm. Inhale, extend. And then exhale to lower the knee down to the mat. Walk your hands one space forward, tucking the toes under. Lift your knees off the mat. Round into the back, tucking the chin to the chest, tucking the core in, and then slowly slide the hips back towards the heels, stretching into the spine and the shoulders, and then start to lift the hips up to the sky. Heel toe the legs a few times here. Walking the dog is something I really enjoy doing every single morning. I find that it gets a full body stretch, opening up the shoulders, releasing my neck, extending into the back of those legs, feeling a bit stiff from the evening sleep. And then you're going to sink your heels towards the mat. Doesn't matter if they don't touch. Just lifting towards the mat, and then lift your hips up towards the sky. Walk your hands one space in, so you're in a short dog. We're going to bring the right hand to hold the outer edge of your left ankle. If you can't reach the ankle, hold the calf or even the thigh, and then turn underneath your left arm. Keep the feet evenly pressing down, and then you're going to twist into the upper back, feeling the lats along the back of the body. Get a lovely stretch here.
Let's release that right hand down, and then taking it to the other side. Left hand to cross. Press both feet evenly into the mat, and you bend into the bottom elbow to help twist your chest up towards the sky. And then releasing the hand to the mat again. Walk the hands all the way to the toes at the back of your mat. Holding onto opposite elbows as you sink down. Soften your thighs, soften your knees, and feel the torso really release from the upper back, the neck, the shoulders, the head becoming heavy, creating traction to pull the spine. Release the arms down, bend your knees deeply, and rolling yourself up, one vertebrae at a time. And then coming to the front of the mat, standing into your Tadasana. Engage through the legs, engage through the core, reaching the fingers down. On the inhale breath, float the arms up to the sky. As you exhale, forward fold down to the mat. Undulating the spine halfway up into flat back. Bring the right hand in front of the chest and inhale the left arm to the sky. Exhale the left hand down under the chest and inhale the right arm to the sky. Exhale, releasing both hands and stepping the right foot back into lunge. Sink your hips low as you lift up through the chest. And then exhale to drop the back knee to the mat. Float the arms up to the sky. Taking the right wrist into the left hand and now leaning over to your left side. Gently pull to that top arm. So you're reaching over towards the front leg side. Inhale to the center, release the hands down, quite close in towards the torso. Inhale the front leg straight and then flex into that front foot. Square the hips, square the shoulders. If the hamstrings are feeling open, you can go a bit deeper. If those hamstrings are still tight, stay upright. Let's exhale to re-bend into the front knee, lifting the back knee off the floor. Floating your foot back into plank. Engaging into the plank, lift the tummy. I'm going to exhale, knees, chest and chin. Engaging into lower belly here. Inhale back into plank. Straighten arms, straighten legs. Taking it down through a second round. Knees, chest and chin. And then inhale all the way flat, bringing the hands in front of you. Hook the thumbs, remember which thumb is on top, and then lifting up arms and chest. Keep the legs anchoring down to the floor. And float the heart up. Exhale to release the hands under the shoulders, tucking toes under, lift into the core, use your inhale, floating through plank, and back into downward facing dog. On your inhale breath, taking the right leg to the sky. And exhale, knee to face. Inhale, right leg to lift. Exhale, knee to face. Look between the hands, step the foot next to your right thumb. Sink the hips, lift the heart. Inhale together, flat back. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale, circle sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale, straight back down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bringing the left hand in front of the chest and taking the right arm up. Exhale the right hand down under the chest and inhaling the left arm up. Exhale to lower both hands to the floor and step your left leg back into lunge. Sink your hips low, lift your chest high. And then releasing the back knee down and inhaling the arms up. Slide the hips forward into your crescent lunge. Lift out of the lower back. Taking hold of the left wrist and leaning over to the right side. Inhale back to center and exhale the hands down to the mat. Lifting the back knee off the floor and then stepping back into plank. Let's lower knees, chest and chin. And then inhaling, sliding forward, extend the fingers, lifting up arms, chest and legs. Releasing the hands and the feet, tuck the toes, squeeze the thighs, lifting yourself back up through plank and into downward facing dog. So I'm sorry I skipped a little bit there. You're going to have to bring the right foot back, dropping the back knee down and working into Ardha Chandrasana. So straightening into that front foot, flex the front foot, walk the hands slightly in. Let's exhale to come a little bit forward, extending over that front shin. Rebending into the front knee, and we'll take it back into downward facing dog. On the inhale breath, taking the left leg to the sky. And exhaling, knee to face, face to knee, rounding into the back. Inhale, lift the leg up to the sky. Exhale, knee to face, face to knee. Looking forward and stepping the foot next to the left thumb. Sink the hips low, lift the chest high. And inhale, stepping forward into flat back. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms overhead, lifting from the core. Exhale, straight back down, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway up. You can choose to walk, step or hop yourself into a downward facing dog. On your inhale breath, rounding the spine to come forward into plank. Holding into your plank for a moment. Let's shift the weight over to your right side by dropping the heels to the right, coming onto the right hand and taking the left arm up. So we'll take a supported side plank in this variation, both feet on the floor. Releasing the hand back down, coming into your plank, and then over to the other side. And then releasing the hand back down to the floor. We're going to lower knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Sliding into up dog or cobra. And then lifting back, downward facing dog. On your inhale breath, taking the right leg to the sky. And then let's open the knee to the right upper arm. Inhale to lift. And then stepping the foot forward into lunge. So drag it knee to face first, then step the foot down. Coming into high lunge, staying up off the back leg if possible. If you need to drop your back knee down, that is available to you. Lifting up out of the lower back. Lightly holding onto that left wrist again. Lean over to the side. So not coming forward, but sideways. Stay in this position. Bring the right hand to the outer edge of your thigh. Use the space that you've created, and now draw that elbow all the way to the outer edge of that front thigh. Twisting a little bit deeper. Hands together at the heart. Squeeze the back knee and tilt the weight over your front thigh. On the inhale breath, coming back to the center, lifting up tall. And then exhale the hands down either side of that front foot. Straightening into the front leg and step the back foot in a little bit. Coming into Parivrtta. You reach your head forward, you reach your tailbone back. Squeezing the inner thighs together. And then slowly melting over your front shin. On the inhale breath, lift open so you're on the tips of the fingers. Right hand comes to right hip, and then you push that right hip back. The inhale is going to lift the left arm, and then you reach your left arm forward. From here, start to squeeze into the belly to turn your elbow to face up. Hand comes to the outer edge of the front calf, foot, or mat. Rotate the chest open here. So you can bring the hand onto the lower back now, opening up the shoulder, opening up the chest. If you've got space in the shoulder, you can float the top arm up. From here, bring the hand back onto the lower back. Your bottom hand is going to come forward about 15 centimeters in front of the front toe. And then float your back leg up. Keeping the hips square, rotate the chest open once more, maybe floating the top arm up. Into our Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana, revolved half moon balance. From here, step it back into high lunge. So plant the back toes, lifting the chest open. And then exhale the hands down to the mat. Step your front foot up into a three-legged dog. Lift the leg as high as you can, bending into that knee as you gaze underneath your right arm. Inhale to square the hips, step the foot forward into lunge, and then step together, flat back. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, bending knees as you reach the arms up. And exhale to forward fold. You need to walk, step, or hop yourself into a downward facing dog. On your inhale breath, round the spine forward into plank. Coming to Vasisthasana on the right side again. So tip the heels to the right, taking the left arm up. If you want to go a bit deeper, you're now going to bring the feet one on top of the other. Take it back into plank pose, and then over to the left. So again, you can have one foot in front of the other, or one foot on top of the other. Releasing yourself back into your plank, choosing a vinyasa of your choice, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, up dog or cobra, and downward facing dog. the left leg to the sky. And exhale, knee to upper left arm. Inhale to lift. And exhale, stepping forward into lunge. Inhale, floating yourself up. High lunge. Square your hips, heel behind the middle toes. The heel is off the floor in high lunge. Taking hold of the right wrist and leaning over to the left side. Stay here as you bring your hand against your outer thigh and then use the space you've created in the rib cage to twist. Joining hands together and making one long line from elbow to elbow. You're very welcome to drop the back knee down at any stage if that's appropriate for you. From here, inhale back into high lunge, and then exhale the hands to the mat. Let's straighten into that front leg, and then step the feet a bit closer together so that both heels are down and hips are square. Use your inhale breath to try and lengthen into the spine as best you can. You can forward fold a bit deeper if you have the space to do so. Inhale to lift up halfway, left hand into the left hip, and then you push that hip back to try and lengthen the left side. Float your right arm in line with your ear, utilizing the core muscles of the inner thighs and the tummy, and then bring your right hand to the outer edge of your shin, ankle, or mat. Twist the chest open here and slide the hand onto the lower back. Try not to lean too much to the side, so the head is still moving forward, and then you're twisting the chest, floating that top arm up to the sky. See if you can send your left hip back a bit. Bring the hand onto the lower back again, looking at the floor. Bring the right hand forward quite far, so you've got some space for the torso to lengthen. Float the back leg up, and then open the arm to the sky again. Kick your heel away, reach your head forward, and then core muscles are used to twist. We're going to float back into high lunge. So placing the back foot down, floating the arms up, and then stepping into three-legged dog. Hands to the floor, front leg lifts up and back. Three-legged dog. Open the hip wide to the sky. Gazing underneath your left arm, bend the top knee into standing scorpion. Taking one more deep breath here. And then inhale to extend the leg. Exhale, release the foot to the floor. You're going to gaze between the hands, walk, step, or hop yourself into flat back. And exhale to forward fold. Heel toe the feet out, hip distance wide, and then sitting down into a squat. So we'll take this into a twisted malasana now. Elbows to the insides of the thighs, push the knees far apart. You may want to bring a block or a rolled up mat underneath the heels, or maybe just stay on the toes if your heels don't easily touch. You can extend the right arm out to the side and take the left arm up to the ceiling. And get through both feet evenly so that you're not tipping the weight over to one leg. If you'd like to come into a bind, you can interlock the fingers behind you.
And then inhale, returning to center and over to the other side. Extend the left arm out, the right arm up. And then again, the bind is available if that's where you want to go, or keep the extension in the arms. And then inhale, returning to the center again. You're now going to come into a forward fold, lifting the hips, heel toe the feet, hip distance wide, and lifting the chest into flat back. Exhale to forward fold. On your inhale breath, walk, step or hop yourself downward dog. And then if you'd like to move through a vinyasa, you can. If you'd like to hold your down dog or even your child's pose, you can. On your inhale breath, taking the right leg to the sky. Crossing the knee now to the left upper arm. Coming into a fallen star by sinking the back heel down, floating the front leg up, and then place the foot to the floor and extend a bit deeper. From here, we're going to take us into a side plank. So to get there, you bring your hand to the floor, you hug your knee to your face, and then you rotate the opposite direction, bringing the foot up into the inner thigh, if that's possible. If not, bring it into a previous leg variation. From here, release the hand back to the floor, draw the knee to the face, and then step your foot forward for warrior two. Inhale, reclining warrior. Pivoting forward, elbow to thigh, and sweeping the back arm up over the ear into Parivrtta. You can sink the hand to the ankle or even to the mat. Lower both hands to the inside of your foot and rotate yourself sideways, bringing the toes parallel. Lift open through the heart, and we're coming into our forward fold here, so you might need to adjust your heels before you come down. Lift open through the heart and then holding onto the big toes or the outer edge of the ankles or the calf muscles. And exhale to sink the head towards earth. Inhale to lift halfway up, and then rotate towards the front of the mat, coming back into your lunge. Let's inhale back into downward facing dog. Hold your down dog, or drop the knees into child's pose, or move through a vinyasa. Taking the left leg to the sky. Exhale the knee to the outer edge of your right arm. Hold it there. We're going to come into the floating version of fallen star. So keep the foot off the floor. Then bring the foot onto the floor Opening up the chest, spreading the feet away from one another. Moving step by step towards side plank. Hand comes down first, knee to the face. Rotate your opposite direction. Bring the foot to the inner thigh if that's available. If it's not available, stack the feet or place them one in front of the other. Let's come back into tiger curl, knee to face. And then step the foot forward, lifting into warrior two. Reaching back into reclining warrior. And then pivoting forward for Parivrtta. Deepening the pose slowly. And then bringing both hands to the inside of the foot. Rotate to face sideways so the feet are parallel to one another. Lift open through the chest and exhale to forward fold. This time bringing the hands back. Fingers are facing towards the head. And you're tipping your weight down over the front of the skull. If you'd like to take this into an inverted Vasisthasana, you're going to bring your head down, maybe walk the feet in a bit, bending the knees, too wide here. You're going to bend your knees and place the knees onto the back of the elbows and then lift the toes up. If this is not available to you, then stay in your wide leg forward fold. From here, let's extend back, lifting the chest up, rotate over the front foot into your lunge, and then back into downward facing dog. On the inhale breath, roll yourself forward into plank. And let's come all the way down to the tummy. Bringing your hands underneath your forehead, and just take a moment to rest. Slide your hands under your shoulders and come back into a child's pose. Threading the needle by sliding the right arm under the chest, turning the gaze to those right fingertips. All 5 fingernails press into the mat. Can come up onto the fingers of the left arm. We're going to keep this fairly gentle, not going too deep into this variation. And then over to the other side. Holding here as a restorative space. And then inhaling to the center and coming to sit up onto the shins, surrounding your back as you sit up. You're going to work into Vasisthasana now to the camel pose. So lifting up onto the knees, bring your knees underneath your hip bones, and then the heels behind the knees. So you're stacking up parallel lines of support. We'll start with the toes tucked for this first round. Bringing your hands onto your lower back. So where you feel those knobbly bones on the lower back, that's the SR joint, and we need to protect those joints. So placing a bit of pressure into them and then gently pushing them apart. You draw the elbows towards one another. As you inhale, you start to open up the heart towards the sky. And you keep pushing the hips forward, engaging into the quads, engaging into the glutes. Draw the elbows together a little bit deeper. Be mindful that there's no strain in the lower back. Lift out of the pose if you feel strain. And then slowly come up on an exhale breath, using the tummy muscles to lift. Sit down into the heels. Just relax the lower back here. So camel pose can be quite a deep sensation in the solar plexus chakra. It's really opening into the chakra of the solar plexus, but also into the heart. And so a lot of things can come up in this pose. Just breathe through whatever you're feeling. Ease out of it if you need to, or deepen it if you feel that that's where the benefit is. Come into a second round, and then this time we're going to keep the toes pointing, so there's a little bit more activation. Again, bringing the hands onto the lower back. Lift up out of the pelvis. Inhale to lean yourself back, drawing the elbows closely together. Maybe you can start to bring the hands down the back of the thighs. Make sure the neck is in a comfortable position. So come out of this pose, we engage into solar plexus, engage into core, lifting up, and then releasing into the lower back by just sitting into the heels. Take a moment to breathe here. And then coming into the last round. So you can choose to have the toes pointing or flexed. I'm going to work down to bringing my hands to the heels, which I find more comfortable with my toes flexed. So you can take this pose where you're ready to go with it. Let's inhale, lift, draw the elbows together, opening up the heart. Maybe extend one arm up and over. Maybe extend the other arm up and over. And then reach the hips forward, reach the heart up. Comfortable neck. When we come out of the pose, turn the head forward, hands to the hips. Use the core muscles to lift, and then sitting down into the heels. Let's take us down into a child's pose, arms forward or behind you, whatever feels better. And just relax into lumbar vertebrae. Rolling yourself back up to sit, and then swinging your legs in front of you. Come into a bent knee. Sit up straight and tall into the back, feeling as though you're balancing on your sitting bones. And we're going to fold over the bent leg. So you want to get your belly button to press against the thighs. Straightening the spine. And then from there, walk the feet one space further forward, keeping attached to belly button. And again, one space further forward. And you're going to keep doing this, melting the legs down a little bit straighter, a little bit straighter. You can adjust your hands, but keeping that belly button against the thighs, and then eventually down into your full forward fold. And extend the chest towards the shins.
inhale to lift back up. Take your right knee into the chest and place the foot to the floor, sitting up for your Janashirsasana. Lift up tall and exhale to forward fold over your front shin. Try to turn the chest a little bit, shoulders in line. So remember, sacrifice the hamstring for the sake of the spine. If you need to get the spine longer but you've run out of space, bend your knee a little bit and see if that creates the space you need. Inhale to lift up. Bend into the straight leg. Take your bottom foot and hug it now quite close in towards the thigh, so the arch of the foot kind of fits around your thigh muscle. You're going to take hold of the ball of the front foot. Sit up tall, really lifting so that you're sitting onto the sitting bones, and then float your heel up so it's in line with your knee at a 90 degree here. You kick the heel away and you pull the arms slightly back, and you feel how that opens up the chest. If you've got the space to take the leg straight, you can do that. If not, keep the knee bent and keep working into the spine. If the leg is straight, you start to try and work your leg and your chest towards one another a little bit more, breathing into both the leg and the spine. So whether you've got a straight leg or a bent leg, you bring your right hand to the outer edge of the foot, and then you reach your left arm away. Sit up tall, kick heel and fingers in opposite directions, and twist over towards that backhand. Coming back to the center, you can cross to hold the inside of the foot, and then slowly releasing down. Bring that foot so that the heel lines up with the other heel. You're going to rotate over that front thigh. It's going to be a fairly gentle twist. Don't need to go too deep. Starting to release the spine, so instead of working into intensity, let's work into softness and mobility. And then coming to the center again, straighten the leg, other leg in, and straighten. So let's take the left knee in now, and placing the foot to the inner thigh. Coming into your Janashirsasana, make whatever alignment adjustments you need, and then forward folding over your front leg. Inhale back up to center. To bend the front knee, place your foot right underneath, so the arch is wrapping around the thigh bone, holding onto the ball of that front foot. Lift up straight and tall to begin, and then bring the heel in line with the knee. Kick the heel away, draw the shoulder blades back, and puff open through the heart center. If you have the space, you can straighten that hamstring. If you don't, stay with the knee bent. Slowly working leg and chest in an upward motion, folding towards each other. Keeping the leg straight or bent, you're going to bring the left hand to the outer edge of the front foot and extend the right arm back. Cross the back hand to the big toe side, and then re-bend into the knee, tucking the feet in nice and close. You're coming into a restorative twist. Don't go too deep here. Returning to the center, straighten the legs out in front of you. Coming to lie on your back. Kick your heels away,
rounding into the spine, and very slowly do a core roll to the floor. And then once you're down, you can take knees into chest. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. And sigh the breath out. One more time. Done a lot of twisting today. Sometimes I just need a little bit of release into the lower back after the twists. So coming into Ananda Balasana, happy baby, can be a nice release into that lower back. Little gentle roll, massaging either side of the spine, working into the middle and upper back as well. Drawing right down into the back of the shoulder blades, creating a releasing, restorative effect. Coming back to the center, draw the knees into the chest. And then we'll release into Shavasana from here. So bringing your feet hip distance wide at least, a little bit wider even if that's comfortable. Take a self-massage, bring your two middle fingers rolling up along the back of the neck. Lift your head up and then gently release the head down, creating space into the back of the neck. Your thumbs come over between the eyebrows, running over the eyebrows to the temples, little massage into the temples, and then from the middle of the eyebrows up and over, one line up, massaging into the temples. One more time from the middle, coming all the way up to the hairline and down into the temples. Running down the side of the face and into the jaw. And then just move around until you feel where you're getting your best massage in the jaw area. And then from here, slowly releasing the hands down either side of you. Eyes gently closed. And commit to a few moments of just quiet body, quiet breath, quiet mind. Feeling as though you're wrapped up in a blanket of security, of comfort, of serenity.
slowly start to deepen and lengthen your breath. Feeling your belly rise and fall. Running your thumb over the tips of your fingers. Moving your toes, your ankles, and your wrists. Drawing your legs together as you extend your arms overhead. Taking a deep, energizing stretch as you yawn or sigh. Bending your knees and rolling over onto your side in a fetal position. Holding here in a space of comfort and calm. On your inhale, lifting into a comfortable seated position, keeping your eyes softly closed to help internalize these last few sensations. Drawing your hands together to heart center in Anjali Mudra. And we'll close the class by chanting Om once and Shanti 3 times. Taking a deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Raising your hands to your third eye. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Lowering your hands to your lips, to your heart, to your mat. Bowing forward in recognition of your practice. Blinking eyes open. Inhaling.